Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's episode on preparation for WAEC 2026 and NECO. So I want to take another interesting topic today, which is indices. So we have laws of indices. The laws of indices that we have. Just take note that another name for indices can be called index. Also, it can be called powers. So we have some certain laws of indices. Number one, when you see a raised power x multiplied by a raised power y, this gives us a raised power x plus y. This is called addition law of indices. So that means if you see something like 10 raised power 2 multiplied by 10 raised power 3, this and this has to be the same. The base has to be the same before you can apply this law. So since it's separated with multiplication sign, so this becomes 2 plus what? 3, which is what 10 raised to power 5, which can be, you can just write like this or you leave it. That is it. The second law states that when you have a raised to power x divided by a raised to power y, what does it give us? It gives us what? A raised to power what? X minus y, which gives us this. Yes. So let's look at this. E.g., let's say you are given 3 raised to power 5 divided by 3 raised to power 2. So if you follow this law, this is the same thing as 3 raised to power 5 minus 2, which is equals to 3 raised to power 3. Therefore, which is 3 times 3 times 3, which gives us 27. So that's number 2 law. So that is that. I hope you are following and you are jotting something down. So let's look at the third law. The third law, which states that, let's say you are given a raised to power minus x. This one can be 1 over a raised to power x. So that means if you see something like 2 raised to power minus 1, this one is the same thing as 1 over 2. Or if you see 2 raised to power minus 3, let's say 3 raised to power minus 2, so the same thing as 1 over 3 raised to power 2, which is 1 over 9. It's as simple as that. Yes. So let's go to another law. We have another law. Let's say law number 4. Irrespective of the number, it's just law that we need, and that's the most important thing. So number 4, let's say you are given a raised to power x into y. So you can see this is the power, this is also power. So you multiply the power together. That's a raised to power x times y, which is equals to a raised to power x y. So in that sense, if you are given 3 raised to power 2 into maybe 4. So what do we do with power? You can say 3 raised to power what? 2 times 4, which is equals to 3 raised to power 8. So you can just leave it that way. That is that. So let's have the fifth law. And the fifth law states that any number raised to power 0 is equals to 1. Any number raised to power 0 is equals to 1. Sorry about that. Any number raised to power 0 is equals to 1. So in that sense, we can have a raised to power 0 is equals to 1. So e.g., x raised to power 0 is also equals to 1. Then 1 million raised to power 0 is equals to 1. Just know that whatever the variable, whatever the number, as long as it is raised to power 0, it is equals to what? It is equals to 1. So that is that. Yes. So number 6 law. Number 6 law of indices. Let's have this. let's say you have a raised to power x over y, fractional law. So what you need to do, you are going to have y root of a, the y will be here, whatever the denominator is from the fractional power will come inside this place. Then you have a inside, then you have x here. So in that sense, let's say we have 8 raised to power 2 over 3. The 3 comes into this place. 8 comes here, then you have 2. What it means is that which number are we going to multiply in 3 places that will give us 8? Obviously, it is 2. That is 2 raised to power 2. So and 2 raised to power 2 is what? This 2 is this one here. 2 raised to power 2, it is what? It is obviously what? 4. And that is that. That is that. So I still have another law, negative fractional power of indices. So let's look at that. Then we'll now go straight into the example. We can go straight into the example. I will try and break this class down bit by bit. Yes, bit by bit. So that the video will not be too long. The video will not be too long. Yes. So now, let's look at another law. You can call this one law number 6. Let's say you are given a raised to power minus x over y. Remember, anything raised to power negative number will be inverse of that number. So the first thing, the inverse will be 1 over, this is a, then you have the fractional power here. So don't forget what I said in the last law. We have y inside this place, then this is a, then you have what here? X. Yes. So in that sense, let's say I'm still using 8 raised to power minus 2 over 3. The first thing that comes to your mind, because of the negative power, you have 1 over 8 raised to power 2 over 3. And this gives us what? 1 over, then the 3 comes inside this place. Then the 8 comes here. Then you have what? Power of 2. So and this gives us finally, we have 1 divided by, this is what? This is 2, because which number are you going to multiply in 3 places? I'll give you 8. Obviously it is 2. So then you have 2 here. So the final answer now becomes 1 over, what is 2 raised to power 2? That is 4. And this is the final answer. This is the final answer. Yes. If you are following, if you have any question, you can drop in the comment section. So the part 2 video will be dropped, which we are going to look into the various examples of laws of indices. Thank you. Bye.